My sister dared to steal my man. You won't believe how I found out. Lara's day was just beginning when she received a message from her sister Julia. It was a message that tugged at her, one of those unusual, urgent texts with a cryptic note about needing to talk. Though they hadn't been as close in recent years, Julia's request hid a note of curiosity Lara couldn't ignore. The meeting place was set at one of Julia's favorite cafes, a cozy spot tucked away on a bustling city street, known for its earthy tones and soft, worn-in couches. When Lara arrived, Julia was already there, looking slightly more anxious than usual, stirring her coffee a bit too fast. Her face was tense, lips pursed. Lara took a seat across from her, eyes trained on her sister, waiting for whatever was coming. "Thanks for meeting me," Julia said, her voice hesitant. "I know we haven't seen much of each other lately, but I just thought you should know, before anyone else." Lara's heart pounded as Julia spoke. They exchanged a few awkward smiles, the kind siblings share when life has drifted them apart. Lara sensed Julia's discomfort and decided to ease the tension, reaching out to place a comforting hand over Julia's. "Whatever it is, just say it," she encouraged softly. Julia took a deep breath, then finally met her sister's eyes. "I know this might sound unexpected, but I'm seeing someone." Lara blinked, surprised but relieved. She gave a gentle laugh. "That's it, you had me worried. I thought it was something worse," she replied, letting out a breath she hadn't realized she was holding. But Julia's expression didn't soften. She still looked deeply conflicted. "There's more," she hesitated, voice dropping, her hands fidgeting. "The person I'm seeing, it's Lucas." Time seemed to freeze, her mind struggling to catch up. Lucas, Lara's longtime partner, the man she planned a future with. The revelation punched the air from her lungs. Shock took over, her mind racing through memories, replaying moments where things hadn't added up but had seemed too small to worry about. She stared at Julia, unable to process. "You're seeing Lucas? How long has this been going on?" Julia looked away, her face contorted with guilt. "Almost 6 months," she admitted, barely above a whisper. A heavy silence fell between them. The cafe sound seemed distant, muffled against the noise of Lara's thoughts spiraling. Anger, disbelief, betrayal, all mixed, overwhelming her senses. 6 months? And you thought this would be fine." Lara's voice was sharp, rising. "Julia, how could you?" Julia's face paled, and her lips quivered. "I didn't mean for it to happen," she whispered, almost pleading. "It started so innocently, and then I couldn't stop. I didn't want to hurt you." Lara's chest tightened, feeling suffocated. The one person she trusted implicitly, the sister she'd loved, had been seeing her partner. "This is more than just hurting me, Julia," she retorted, her voice laced with barely suppressed fury. This was betrayal, pure, unforgivable betrayal. Julia's eyes welled up with tears, but Lara was unrelenting, her own pain flooding her words. "Did you ever stop to think what this would do to me?" Julia's voice was shaky, barely audible. "I tried to stop it, but by then, feelings had developed. I was torn." Lara stood abruptly, her chair scraping the floor, eyes brimming with anger and heartbreak. "I can't look at you right now. I need some time." Without waiting for Julia's response, she grabbed her coat and stormed out, her mind clouded with an avalanche of emotions. Days passed, and Lara didn't respond to Julia's messages or calls. She needed the distance, the space to process the betrayal and the complex tangle of love and hate she now felt for her sister and for Lucas. Her pain only intensified as memories resurfaced, moments with Lucas, moments with Julia, all tainted now, marred by their deceit. One evening, she found herself scrolling through old photos, the happy moments now tainted by her knowledge of the betrayal. Her heart broke anew each time she saw the smiles on their faces, the trust she'd once felt shattered beyond repair. After weeks of solitude, a chance encounter with a friend led her to open up. Her friend listened patiently, offering understanding but no judgment, helping Lara to see her pain from an outside perspective. Gradually, she felt a shift, an acceptance that while Julia and Lucas's betrayal was devastating, she didn't want to lose herself to the bitterness. Months later, Lara decided to meet Julia again. This time, it was she who initiated the meeting. Sitting across from her sister once more, she felt a strange calm, like she had emerged from a storm. "Julia, I won't lie. What you did, it broke me," she began, her tone steady, her voice laced with a mix of sorrow and resilience. "But I've realized holding on to this anger is like drinking poison and expecting it to hurt you. I can't live that way." Julia nodded, tears streaming down her face. "I am so sorry, Lara. I'll regret this for the rest of my life. I don't deserve your forgiveness." Lara held Julia's gaze, her own eyes glassy but resolved. "I don't know if I can forgive you yet, but I can't live in hatred either." She paused, breathing deeply. "You were my sister before any of this, and I don't want that to be erased, no matter how much this hurt." The sisters sat in silence, each processing the gravity of their broken trust. In that quiet moment, they both understood that while the wound may never fully heal, they had at least begun the journey of facing it together. Lara would move forward, rebuilding her life piece by piece, and though Julia would carry her guilt, the bond they shared would remain, a fragile thread, woven with love, pain, and a shared history they couldn't erase.